And we are live again this week.
Sweet. All right, Anton, ready?
Yep.
Welcome to episode 117. This episode 2OC, we talk about a galaxy's worth of Star Wars, design, success, or fail, and Anton gets old. I'm Alan Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong.
Happy birthday, Anton.
All right, thank you.
Technically after
Exactly.
midnight.
Wow. Right after midnight.
I was gonna say before we recorded, but I'm like, no, wait.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you sent me, but I did see that text that you sent something my way. So I'll be looking forward to that tomorrow or in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. It's nothing crazy. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something, I think you would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I am kind of curious to see what you're gonna think about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of presents, I told you what I got you for an early Christmas. And we're probably going to be talking about that in a couple of topics away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, is your mic on right? Because I'm hearing a bit of an echo. I don't know if it's your.
Okay. I think it is Skype that I need to fix real quick. So you can go ahead and
Okay.
get into the
Make it,
topic right now while I fix that.
all right. Just making sure that I don't want the
Hmm.
recording to be affected by it. Which, if you're watching us on YouTube, we can clean up or you can listen to the cleanup audio on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher app.
Yep. That sounds much better, right?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was hearing like the hum of the PC or something, and I was like, okay, that sounds too echoey.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So week update. I've started the Star Wars movie marathon with my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
She has never seen any of the Star Wars movies, and considering that the last Star Wars or Skywalker Saga movie is coming out in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
um, she wanted to catch up. I wasn't sure if she was into it until the second near the end of A New Hope
Hmm.
when she goes, "Does Leia choose Luke?" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Because is this like a love triangle thing?" I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, I'm also got a little bit jealous that like she's kind of seeing this whole story for the first time,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and that she doesn't have to wait multiple years to get like closure to the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So,
yeah.
so how far are you guys off on that right now on this journey?
So I actually made a little list for her.
Okay.
So we finished the originals.
Okay. Wait,
Uh,
wait, wait. Did you do the machete order or no?
no, 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 no. I'm just doing the cinematic release order.
Oh, okay.
I know. I didn't want to overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Because I,
Um,
I want that reaction where she's like, wait, what? Like the reveal of
oh,
Darth Vader.
oh no, it's not even. Okay, so something about my girlfriend is she loves spoilers.
Okay.
She
Oh, okay. I know. My
yeah, like
wife's the
she
same thing.
yeah, like she needs to know what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
At least if she has a question, like um the whole like the whole Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia,
Hmm.
and Han Solo thing. I had to make a deal with her that I would tell her the full reason why she would choose one over the other
Hmm.
at the end of Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure which one they revealed that. Off the top of my head, I knew they told that
It took a
they
while.
eventually they eventually said that Leia's his sister, but I wasn't sure which movie it was in. So I was like, finish watching Empire Strikes Back and then I'll tell you. Um, yeah, dude, it's been fun rewatching it. I gotta be honest, I haven't seen the original trilogy since I was probably 11, 12, in
Hmm.
like the VHS,
Yeah.
the VHS copies we had. We just finished watching Phantom Menace,
Okay.
which is really funny seeing that reaction. Um, not only seeing like after seeing how psychopathic Darth Vader was in the original, but also seeing her reaction, seeing like, oh, that's young that's young our Darth Vader,
Uh huh.
that little boy. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Seeing her reaction, and this is how I knew like she was legit into it
Yeah.
when she's like, finally, they're actually using the Force and their lightsabers the right way.
Yeah.
Because and I explained to her, I'm like, well, the original one, they really didn't have the budget to hire
Martial
uh co-
arts.
martial artists,
Hmm.
fight coordinators.
Hmm.
So, but like for the Phantom Menace, they really went all out and hired people to actually use sword fighting,
Hmm.
so they could reenact. They choreograph the fights with the lightsabers and also throw in some flips and spins and stuff like that. And the other thing is she's like, there are so many times in the original trilogy where she's wondering why Luke doesn't use the Force more often.
Yeah.
So in this time, like they're, since they're Jedi Masters, they're using the Force left and right. So she's enjoying that.
Yeah,
She saw,
usually Padawans don't have like they have force push. They have a couple.
well,
I'll talk about that a little later.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
so, so I pretty much explained to her, I'm like, you have to think of it this way. Luke wasn't a fully trained Jedi. He
Mhm.
kind of got the leftover notes of a
Yeah.
class that doesn't get taught anymore.
Mhm.
In the return in Phantom Menace, these are Jedi's that have trained for years. They've been taught, like the proper way, the apprenticeship and stuff like that.
Mhm. And
I'm
there's a
all
whole
and
fleet of Jedi's too.
right. And then I told her,
Mhm.
also production wise, they didn't really have the budget to make special effects every single time. They just want to show the Force.
Yeah.
But like, so I gave her both explanations, the
Mhm.
production and the story,
Mhm.
the canon answer. She also saw Jar Jar for the first time,
Oh yeah.
and she
Did
goes, "Oh, what were you say?"
no, I just want to see what her reaction is.
She liked Jar Jar,
Hmm.
and she's like, I'm like, yeah. Fair warning, Jar Jar is a very polarizing character. People either think he's funny or that he's annoying as hell and ruined the franchise.
Yeah.
And this is like early on when he's like first introduced, and she goes, "No, I like him. He's funny." And then around the last 30 minutes of the movie, when they're doing the pod race, she goes, "Okay, yeah, he's annoying as fuck."
Yeah. Well, he's made for kids, and I think that's the reason why I think it was overused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think this weekend, I'm not sure how much time we're gonna have. Hopefully, knock out the rest of the prequels.
Hmm.
I will say I forgot how long these movies were,
Oh yeah, they're long as hell.
and I didn't put it into our news segment, but they did release a time for the new Star Wars movie,
Hmm.
the Rise of Skywalker, and it's only 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, they cut
The
it down. They cut it
Yeah,
down.
the prequels are over 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So that, yeah, I'm kind of surprised
Hmm.
that they chopped it down. But yeah, dude, I'm so far we're on track to finish the 8 movies,
Hmm.
and then just in time for the movie that comes out in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and we both got our tickets.
Yes. Thank you, Adam Tickets.
Thank you. Worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly, uh, there's something in the glitch that was in my favor, I guess. There's something that happened with one of the ticket bookings, and I had to go to Adam Tickets to get the tickets, but it turns out that I also get tickets in the other system, but there's a whole bug thing, and I don't want to talk about because I don't want to get my tickets revoked. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that there's been glitches. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a lot of it's pretty much a denial of service attack,
Yeah.
but in the actual real sense, not the
Hmm.
hacker phrase.
Yeah.
Last thing for my updates, I did volunteering on Saturday at the OC Food Bank. It's kind of my annual tradition,
Hmm.
and it's been fun. So every year I go through my work. Uh, Several companies do like a volunteer day at the OC Food Bank, and we do like an assembly line of like
Hmm.
packaging cereal, juices, canned goods,
Hmm.
rice, and just try to crank out as many boxes as we can. Each one
Hmm.
goes to a different family. Um, and it's been fun because at first it started off with just me and maybe some coworkers that just decided to volunteer for a fun team event. And little by little, my group has expanded. It went from my brother joining me to uh, my friend Juliet, and then the next year it was my friend Juliet's coworker, my brother and his wife, and now this time around we had about 8 people helping me out. Like they're all like
Wow.
kind of jumping in, so it's kind of nice.
I think the more you're exposing yourself to this every single year, a lot more people are probably going to join you too. If I
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
go back, I would totally join you.
yeah, and it's fun.
Hmm.
It's quick too. It's 2 hours really, and
Yeah.
it's timed out perfectly. So like the point where you can go full speed for about 2 hours, and then right when you're about to like get tired or start to feel it,
Hmm.
the shift's over. So you're good.
So was this over the weekend or was it on the weekday?
It was over the weekend. It was
Hmm.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. My dad works there. He works there on the weekdays. He's
Yeah.
a designer and he does a lot of the ads and stuff for them. And he's also one of the managers. He um, he usually goes out and help people, figure out how to save money and
Hmm.
how to help people that need help.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of cool. They do really good stuff there. Besides the whole food bank, they do a bunch of other things too.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of tempted to do is that this year, we're actually starting next year. They're gonna have some specialized plates, license
Hmm.
plates for cars.
Hmm.
You know how they usually do like the veterans, firefighters, the wildlife kind of things. They're gonna start doing it for California food banks with a picture of John Lennon. I forgot what the quote was. I believe it's "Imagine the World" or something like that. It's pretty much a reference to one of his songs when it says like "Imagine the world if there was no starving people" or something like that, or nobody was starving.
Yeah, so in the state of Florida, I've seen so many different license plate. It's just not the one with the oranges. There's like one for almost everything. They
Yeah,
have a special one for NASA. They have one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have one for the Dolphins. Um,
I will say I'm shocked that California doesn't have as many.
mhm.
I think we have a total of like 8, but I've seen like other states they have like team names or uh team plates or whatever. So I think like the Arizona has the Arizona Cardinals one.
Yeah.
Um, but LA, we have multiple teams here in different sports, and I've never seen one for
Yeah.
a team.
So as of 2015, that's the best I could find here. Since 2015, there's over 120 special license plates. So that's crazy, dude. I don't even
Yeah.
know.
I'm sure. I see. It'd be nice if they do it for like school districts.
They have one for UCF. They have one for UF. They
No,
have
no, no.
one. Yeah.
I'm saying more public schools,
Oh,
especially as a state.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, no. So I just thought that was cool because they actually went to Yoko Ono to get permission to use John Lennon's image and his quote from a song for the plate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, Yoko has the rights to his estate. Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
All right. So on a different note, how do you feel about this? Because coming up very soon, Paramount's whole spiel, where I think it was 19. Let me get the exact date here. Um, since 1948, Paramount Consent Decree. It was an agreement that blocked monopolistic studio practices. So, in a way, not all of the studios are allowed to buy their own theaters to show their own movies, but
Okay.
instead, movie theaters will have to show a bunch of movie studios. So it's not monopolized. So
Yeah.
that way,
So
when you
it's the
yeah
theaters are the distributors.
yeah yeah, so
Yeah.
that way when you go into the movie theater, you're not controlled to the only movies that you can see, but you have more choices. Um,
Yeah.
so coming up very soon. Actually, I think already, or actually not yet, but I don't have the exact date. But yeah, it's gonna be lifted. So I think we might see some studios negotiate some things to buy movie theaters. But how do you feel about that? Like, for example, if you were to go to AMC to watch like Disney movies,
Yeah.
how would you feel about that versus going to Century movie theaters to watch like Sony.
I mean, we're kind of seeing that with the streaming services now.
Yeah.
We're starting to see them kind of segregate and keep towards themselves.
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I mean, on one side, it's good. Say Disney owned a certain chain of theaters or had an
Hmm.
exclusive deal for theaters. Um, it'd be very easy for parents to just know I can take my kids or drop off my kids with their friends to go watch a movie if they're like say in junior high or whatever.
Yeah.
And not to worry about them sneaking into a rated R movie. However, it sucks for smaller studios because you might start to see more Disney, more Sony, more Universal movie theaters popping up, and you'll have to go to this small, crappy movie
Yeah.
theater to watch other studios' movies, say a Bad Robot movie or something.
Yeah, but I mean, we already see, the different movie experiences at each movie theater. A good example would be going to Century Theaters to watch their stupid XD, and then going to AMC to watch the amazing Dolby.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like that all over again. But here's the thing, I I would hate the fact that if movies get split up like that, we're gonna have to
Choose sides.
yeah, we're gonna have to choose sides because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I have a feeling they're gonna do subscriptions to these theaters. So that means that you're gonna be
Oh,
owning
yeah.
more subscriptions, which is such a big headache right now. There's subscriptions for everything.
Oh, no, again, it's the smaller studios are going to get screwed over by this because
Hmm.
it's going to be if it's not an exclusive theater to just, I mean, if it's not a studio exclusive theater, the only way smaller studios are going to be able to get even their film shown is through smaller crappy theaters that have no deal,
Hmm.
or maybe leasing a screen at one of the theaters. So,
Hmm.
the Bad Robot is going to be leasing a screen at a Universal exclusive theater
Hmm.
for a specific runtime,
Hmm.
and that I don't know. It's going to suck for smaller
Yeah.
production companies.
Well, recently Netflix made a deal
Hmm.
with Paris theaters to show Netflix movies,
Hmm.
which is kind of cool. I mean,
Which okay, well that's a little bit different though because Netflix mainly wants to do it to have a theatrical release just to qualify for certain awards.
hmm, that's true.
That's the only thing they care about. They just
Hmm.
want that. They just want to say that they were released in theaters.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't like to see any of that stuff happening. I would like to
Yeah.
continue to go to the movie theater and having multiple options. Yeah.
What's that theater neutrality?
Yeah.
Hashtag theater neutrality.
Yeah. I guess that can start trending. Once, things start happening, I think that would probably be a really big trending hashtag. All right. So, talking about things that are
Actually,
trending.
I'll pause you there for a second. My girlfriend says happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Tell her thank you very much. Thank
All
you.
right.
All right. So, talking about other popular trending things, Star Wars Fallen Order has gotten so many rave reviews on how good this game is. And I was able to snatch a copy, and I'm going to have to say, dude, this is so good. This is probably by far one of the best Star Wars games ever made, besides Jedi Outcast and KOTOR, of course. But yeah, I think this is a really good, well-made game. And I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
The worlds that you explore in this is so open. Yes, it kind of pushes you to go through like each section, and it's kind of like directing you into certain areas, but they don't force you to go there right away. You're allowed to explore the whole entire world itself before you get to where you need to go. And you could also go back later to explore. There's a lot of things that
So
yeah, go ahead.
let's say so kind of like the Fallout kind of thing. Like it's a you can either continue on the main campaign or go off and go explore something else.
Yeah, yeah, you can do your own side missions if you want to. Well, they don't even give you side missions. You just eventually like find something. Like there's like you know those Easter eggs that you have to go around and find
Yeah,
in a bunch of other games.
yeah.
They have them here too, but they have them in like for example, when we play Destiny,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of loot boxes that are hidden in certain places, and sometimes
Right.
there's those golden ones.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find these, sometimes they would give you like skins for your lightsaber, so you can build your own lightsaber, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can customize everything. The Force is really cool. There's a lot of different skills, and when you play this game, they kind of tell you that every single Jedi have their own unique skill, which is very interesting because going back to what you were talking about earlier, Luke is not trained enough to become like a grandmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but eventually, in the past couple movies that we saw, he's gone beyond that, and it seems like he's gone beyond to where he's able to master his craft so well with his force ghosts and stuff. So in this one, Fallen Order, you follow this guy. His name is Cal. It takes place right after the sixth movie.
Or order. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
so I think I
after.
think it's before Force Awakens.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this is before between Force Awakens and Empire and Return of the Jedi.
yeah. So during this time, there's not a whole lot of Jedi's left.
Mm-hmm.
All the Jedi's are or all the new Jedi's are kind of young, or someone like Luke, who's
Mm-hmm.
able to escape. Cal was lucky enough to survive a uh, big purge.
Order
Um,
66.
yeah. So he got lucky. He went to an off world where they were doing like construction. So then he just worked every day as a worker, and eventually they were able to seek him out, the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and he runs away, and he's on his journey. He bumps into a couple of people that would help him um, bring back the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So I don't know how far this leads up to, but I have a feeling that he has something to do with how Luke was able to open up that temple again and then start teaching young Padawans.
Yeah.
So I
So
think that's what this game is about. And dude, so far I'm loving this game. The only thing that I wish that this game has is double jump. It does not have double jump like
oh,
Jedi Outcast.
that
Yeah.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you just reminded me of something. Uh, during while we were watching the original trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
it was nice seeing certain quotes or references that would be later used in other movies, such as uh, Yoda saying that what's it called? Oh, I think it was Return of the Jedi. When Yoda is dying, he tells Luke that he's gonna be the last Jedi. I was like, oh, that's where it's from.
Yeah,
I forgot
makes
about that.
sense. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He was the last Jedi, which I think kind of gives an inkling that Rey is not going to be a Jedi. She's going to be something else that we've kind of talked about before. That somewhere the gray side or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The gray Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. That was just a little memory you triggered when
So
when
in
you
in
talked about
this
it.
game, I think Luke is the last Jedi. It's just that this
Yeah.
kid Cal, he lost his way of having those force powers.
Hmm.
So I don't think anybody in the galaxy was giving off power.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll spoil a little bit because I mean it's basically the premise. And I haven't even got there yet because they're just telling you what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um, there is some type of map that
Okay.
can sense all of the young um, force users in the galaxy. So
Okay.
with this map, you're able to find these force users and bring them together and start a new Jedi Order.
So I mean, they kind of
So
hinted
basically
at that.
rebuilding.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which they kind of hinted at that at the end of The Last Jedi
Mm-hmm.
with that kid,
Mm-hmm.
the kid that cleans out the barn. That you clearly had some sort of force power. Maybe he wasn't going to be part of the story, but it shows that there are still people out there that have strong connection with the force even without training.
Yeah. The new spark.
The Allspark, Transformers, Optimus,
Yeah.
The Last Night. It's all triggering.
Yeah. All right.
It's all
So
coming together
speaking
here.
of video games, yeah, I'm gonna do my quick first impressions of Stadia.
All
So
right. Go ahead.
yeah. So we talked about Stadia before. Google rolling out their new um, invisible console because you don't really
Cl-
see the
cloud
console.
cloud-based console.
Yeah. So my first impression is yes, it works. But here's the
Oh, that's a
thing.
relief.
Yeah, it works pretty well when it does work. If you have a slow connections, for sure you're gonna have a really rough time.
Which,
But
what did I tell you?
I haven't experienced the worst. I've only seen what people talk about online. So yeah. Um. So Stadia is on the right track, but there's nothing that really pulls you into saying, "Oh, I gotta have Stadia," because all of the games that you can play on here, you can play on any other console. So, I mean, why play on this when you can play on the consoles? You get what I mean?
Uh,
So
yeah,
until
yeah, I
they
get it.
have a dedicated IP that it's like, oh, you gotta play this game, and the only place to play it is on Stadia.
So right now, it's more like the games are just a proof of concept rather than a draw.
Yeah, I feel like right now what they're trying to do at this point is trying to, you know, try to work out the kinks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's still. I mean, that's very Google though. Google has a tendency of releasing unfinished projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stadia works. It's functional, but it's not what another company would have released. This is like phase two, like completed the hardware. Phase three is developing the content,
Mhm.
which they have not completed.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other companies out there that already did go down this path already.
And where are they
It's
now, Anton? Where are they now?
one was called Genkai,
Oh,
and
that's a gangsta.
it got bought by PlayStation, and it became PlayStation View,
Yeah,
and PlayStation View finally shut down their servers last month.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, and then there's also Oya, which is like a Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and that totally failed too. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
All right. All right, Anton. That was our week update. You ready to get into the news?
Yeah, let's get into news.
All right. So Disney Plus reactions. There's a couple of things that, well, Disney Plus, I should say, was released 2 weeks ago. That's one reason we've kind of been not recording as much because we kind of wanted to dive into that content.
Hmm.
Initial impressions that I've been seeing on Twitter, besides the whole hiccup at launch,
Hmm.
was that people were not too happy with what they did to the original Simpsons episodes.
Oh yeah, um, it was being chopped off the top and the bottom to make it um
R- yeah,
widescreen.
because Yeah, so they did two things. So it went from standard, or is it letterbox, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Letterbox resolution or aspect to widescreen. But instead of putting the black borders on either end, they chopped it to make it fit the frame, which just zoomed in to the existing picture, which people were not too happy about because it cut off some of the jokes,
Yeah.
visual gags, I should say.
Hmm.
Uh, the other thing they did, the positive thing, is they did something called, I'm blanking on the name on it, digital smoothing,
Hmm.
something smoothing. So pretty much
Remastering it.
yeah, they remastered because it's still the old. Those episodes were animated traditionally with hand drawn pictures,
Hmm.
and so you still see a lot of pencil marks, a little bit of squirminess. So what they did, they went in, smoothed out the coloring, the lines, so it still looks a little bit out, but I mean,
Hmm.
looks nicer than it was.
Hmm.
Um, 2 episodes. First one that I was surprised that they added in is when Homer goes to the World Trade Center.
Oh. Hmm.
That's like the first. My brother came over the day Disney Plus launched, and when I showed him The Simpsons, that's the first thing he looked for, is he see if they had that episode in there, because that episode has been out of syndication
Hmm.
since 9/11.
Wow. So they
Yeah,
added that.
they added it in.
Hmm. Okay.
They did take out an episode of the White Michael Jackson episode.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's been had. I feel like there's no way Disney could have won with that one. If they
Hmm.
took it out, the Simpsons fans would have been pissed. If they left it in, the Michael Jackson haters would have been pissed. So
Yeah.
there's no win on that one.
Hmm.
We are gonna go into the shows a little bit later. I feel like I'm missing something, but that's fine. Um, there was another bit of news that we got over the weekend or late last week. I can't
Hmm.
remember.
Yeah.
Sonic got a redesign.
Yeah. Dude. Okay. So my reaction was, now I actually want to see this movie, like really bad. I want to see this like now.
That you're not alone.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if anybody that saw the original trailer,
Hmm.
he looked. I'm gonna say this like a weird. How do I say it? Like a rat, like just like a generic,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
janky rat with that's blue,
Hmm.
with human teeth. Now he actually looks like the legit Sonic that we know,
Hmm.
and to the point where I actually had to double check to make sure that what I was seeing was not some sort of concept or uh, fan creation
Hmm.
using the Sonic from the video game. It actually looks like the legit Sonic.
Hmm.
Because of that, with that new trailer, people are actually enjoying what they're seeing. They
Yeah.
actually, because not only did we get a crappy design of Sonic, but it was a teaser.
Hmm.
Now we're getting a preview of the actual movie with the Sonic we love, and people are getting into it.
Yeah, that's true. So, I think with this trailer though, I mean, it's if you look at the views, it's a lot of people watching this.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's gonna do really well in the movie theater, regardless of what it is. I mean, maybe it'll be another movie that is pretty close to beating out that curse, that video game curse.
The video game curse.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because people are digging the Jim Carrey thing. They're digging the new
Yeah.
redesign.
Oh, yeah. The Jim Carrey thing. I thought the joke, like his acting is always overreacting, and there
Yeah.
was that scene where I'm like, oh my god, he's overreacting, but then he kicks it in with a really funny joke that like is like,
Yes.
okay, I take that back. That was funny. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he does have you're right. I think in the teaser it was worse. In the teaser it looked like just cheesy with not a lot of funny.
Yeah. It makes you
Now with the actual
not want
trailer,
to watch it at
you
all.
actually put yeah, you actually get the jokes.
Yeah.
Um, I I think the only thing that bugs me so far is the whole alien thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
That Sonic is an alien. He came from another planet, and
Hmm.
the planet that we know is the game that we know.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
Yeah.
so other than the Sonic redesign um, that was announced, there was something else that was announced, and it happened in California in Hawthorne.
Yes.
Yeah, what was that?
Tesla announced their new truck. I want to say their first truck.
Hmm.
This mean more of they've done the semi truck, they've done the Model S. Now this one is more for the pickup truck users.
Hmm.
Uh, I will say there's a lot of controversy around the design. Not controversy, but mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Uh, because it's so boxy. If anybody hasn't seen the Tesla truck, uh, think of a stealth bomber. Very sharp corners. I honestly was expecting him to say that it was radar and it was invisible to radar.
Yeah. um.
So there was two tests that he did to
Mhm.
show how amazing it was. The first one was that the panels, while the design looks ugly, the panels are actually super strong and can withstand a lot of force.
Yeah.
So one
Almost.
demo he
Almost
did,
bulletproof.
almost bulletproof.
Hmm.
So one of the demos he did was he got is it the head designer, or
Yeah.
I
Head
forgot, one of
designer.
the
Hmm.
head designer gave him a sledgehammer and said, just go ahead and hit the side of the car.
Hmm.
Hit it, fine. Hit it a couple more times, fine. He was a little hesitant, but after he saw that it didn't leave a mark, he was confident. Second test, they talked about how amazingly strong the windshields were, the side, well, the glass in general.
Hmm.
Um, the guy point blank got a baseball and threw it at the window. Anton, do you know what happened?
Yeah, I know exactly what happened. It cracked the first
Yeah,
time.
the
So they tried
yeah
to do it
the
again with the back windows, and it cracked the
yeah
second time.
yeah. Do you know why that happened?
Yes, I know exactly why that happened.
Why is that?
Okay, so before anything, they did do tests. They did
Hmm.
try throwing the ball at the window, and this is a metal ball too. So, and
Oh, I
it
thought it was a baseball.
no, it's
Oh,
an actual metal ball. It's heavy.
okay, so it's a giant ball bearing, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, uh,
Okay.
yeah. So they threw it at the window, and it just bounced back. And they did it multiple times.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was during the presentation when he used a sledgehammer, he hit it so hard that the window kind of nudged down a little bit. And because it nudged down a little bit, it has that gap where it doesn't have the sealant at the top to
Reinforce.
reinforce the glass. That's why it broke. So if it
Yeah.
had that, it would have pushed all the force into the whole frame itself. But it wasn't part of the frame because of the sledgehammer.
Yeah, I've heard that explanation. I also heard that the sledgehammer actually created micro fractures in the glass,
Hmm.
and that just created a weak point in the glass. So once it actually put the force of the ball, it created enough of a stress fracture that it just shattered it.
Hmm.
Either way, it doesn't seem like they tested the demos together. It seems like they tested the demos separately. They tested
They did.
Sledgehammer.
They did.
Yeah. Either way,
And
though, I
tell you
mean,
what, yeah, either way, at the end of the day, they got good publicity out of it, even though their stocks went down 5%. But I mean, it only went down for so long and it shot straight back up when they announced how many people actually pre-ordered the truck.
which the pre-order is cheap, wasn't it? Like $100 to
Yeah,
save your spot.
$100. And dude, the pricing range for this truck is very very competitive to all of the trucks that are currently out there right now. For
Yeah,
something that is a cheap truck, you can do pretty well with the basic Cybertruck configurations.
yeah. Several things to note too.
Hmm.
Well, the one on top of everything is Milan tweeted, "I did it for the memes."
Yeah, that was funny.
uh, yeah, when people were asking about the design. The other thing too is that the chassis for this truck uh, can be can have a lot of different designs mounted on top of it.
Hmm.
So the Model S is very limited on what it can be. That's only one the Model S design.
Hmm.
This one they can pretty much change the design of the car and just still put on the same chassis.
Hmm.
So while people judge this design or how it looks right now, it might not be the final product. And even if it is, they can come up with other designs later on using the same chassis, so it won't affect their production line as
I like
much.
the design. When I first saw him, like,
I
okay, okay,
I
let me ease it in a little bit. Okay, it's Blade Runner.
okay. Okay. So one thing I've noticed too, there's besides the endless memes, the top my favorite one
Hmm.
is somebody just made the DeLorean out of it.
Hmm.
All it had to do was put the exhaust things in the back. Um,
Someone made a
well,
Halo one. Did you see that one?
no, but I saw a Pikachu
Oh my
one.
god, that's funny. Yeah.
But no, one thing that's shown me though is that this design, the flat panels,
Hmm.
can make it very friendly to what's hot right now in cars is shrink wrapping or just wraps.
Hmm.
So even if you don't like the initial design of the car, you better believe there's gonna be a lot of like independent body shops that will have their own custom designs for this type of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, so the cool
personally,
thing I like about it, in the back of the flatbed, there's a modular things on the sides of the whole flatbed where you can pretty much like jerry rig anything into it because it has like a little hole where you can start drilling like little nuts and bolts into there. So you can pretty much build your own contraption on whatever you want in the back of the truck.
yeah.
You can start putting
Oh,
like shelves. You can do whatever you want. So it's kind of cool.
and the other thing we forgot, and it's because the demo snafu stole the show.
Hmm.
There's also a mini ATV in the back that
Oh
they had in the
yeah,
demo.
dude, that ATV
Everybody
looks
forgot
really
about it.
cool. That ATV looks
Everybody,
really cool.
I was like, everybody forgot about it because the mistake cost so much
Hmm.
or drew so much attention because
Yeah.
they're demoing the ATV. Meanwhile, this you still see the shattered glass on the side.
So with the ATV on top, it actually looks really cool. It looks like it's got a couple more edges on the design, which
Yeah,
gives it kind of like a tail or a spoiler kind of look to it.
yeah.
Hmm.
I imagine there's gonna be at least 3 different designs for this, so I'm excited.
Hmm.
Tesla, people hate, but secretly they know it's the future.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, Anton. Next story here. Nickelodeon. Because Netflix is pulling out a lot of their properties, Fox, Marvel, Disney Channel, Disney movies, uh, Netflix has to make other deals. So one of the deals that they've made is a multi-year deal with Nickelodeon to produce original animated movies and TV series based on existing and new IPs. So pretty
Uh,
much Nickelodeon.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think they're kind of doing that, but I guess they're finally easing into like doing a lot more because they were doing Avatar for a while, and they're still doing that, the live
Well,
action.
I think they've tested it for a while. I mean, they've
Hmm.
had their partnership, like I said, like with Avatar. They've done the Rocko's Modern Life.
Hmm.
They've done the Invader Zim, which are both old IPs,
Hmm.
but very popular with Nickelodeon fans. I think because Netflix is so desperate for new content or like higher end content, well, not higher end, mainstream content, and Nickelodeon really doesn't have a streaming service like Disney, Fox, or Disney. I mean, even freaking ABC, NBC is gonna have their own streaming service.
Yeah, I
Uh,
always thought that Nickelodeon was part of Universal, but they were only renting out the
yeah,
park to have their attraction.
I mean, Simpsons too.
Hmm. Yeah.
They have their own Universal thing. So I'm kind of curious what other shows they're gonna bring back, uh, or even what they're gonna create. So I mean, it's another outlet for Nickelodeon to at the very least, split the budget on production.
Hmm.
So yeah, that is it for news. Anton, are you ready to get into streaming?
Yep. Let's get into streaming.
It's gonna be a biggie.
Yep.
All right, Anton. Starting off with, let's go Apple Plus. While I went to San Diego, one thing I did check out was the show Dickenson,
Hmm.
starring Haley Steinfeld.
Hmm.
Dude, I love this show, dude.
It's
It's
like it's like set in old times, but with like a modern twist.
yeah, it's like they're still teenagers. They're
Hmm.
still they have that teen angst, and it's funny and weird.
I
It's a
like how
period.
they incorporate a lot of the modern slang into the writing, so you can understand
Yeah,
and get the jokes easier.
and if you haven't heard of the show, it's the life of Emily Dickinson turned into a series. Um, it's just so funny how they incorporate, the real life Emily Dickinson's into like her future, and just kind of trickle it into like jokes. Um, yeah, it's modern language.
Hmm.
Uh, some of it is very poetic, and that's one thing I loved about it too. Is that the way people talked, the dialogue, either the dialogue between characters or just one person having a soliloquy, they had patterns, they had rhythm to it. So I like that too. Um, they it's pretty much modern dialogue with the Emily Dickinson thing. I mean, there's a part in the show, one of the episodes, where there's this like modern like female writer who was literally in it just like she was just writing crap because it would sell.
Hmm.
She's sold out, and all she cares about is money. And somebody asked her like, "Oh, what motivates you? Is it the art? Is it express
Stephen
yourself?"
King.
And she says, "I'm about the hustle." Um, yeah, like stuff is weird slang like that. Um, they kind of throw little like jabs at other writers.
Hmm. Hmm.
She goes, "Oh, a story about women growing up, and then one of them eventually facing a tragedy. Something, women, Little Women. Screw it, it's trash. Whatever, I don't care." And then there's another one about like like, oh, like I want to travel the world, sail around. Like, oh, that'd be great, a travel adventure at sea. Maybe like a giant whale. No, that's stupid. Like so many little jabs. I'm like, dude, I loved it. I can't wait for season two.
Hmm.
It's only 10 episodes. It has like its surreal moments, but other than that, it's a teenage girl, regardless of what time it is, what time period it takes place in. It's it's done very well, and
Hmm.
I don't think I could have picked a better person than Haley Steinfeld for this one.
Yeah, she's great. She nails it,
Yeah.
dude. Yep.
Yep.
All right, so next thing on the list here, we got Adult Swim, and it's Rick and Morty back with their new season, and I'm all caught up. I think they're on the third episode now. It's been out for 3 weeks, dude. It's really good. um, I'm super stoked with what they're going through right now. It seems like they're hitting home with every single episode. So far, having a lot of laughs. I think the most recent episode is kind of a poke fun of Ocean's 8, 9, 10, 11. Uh,
Up to
it's really
13.
funny.
Um, I've heard that I don't know if their goal is or they're starting to this season,
Hmm.
but to kind of remind audiences that Rick is not a good guy.
Hmm.
Like as much
He's
as you
not.
love the guy,
Hmm.
he's an a-hole, and
Well,
he's
okay,
not he's
so
not he's not exactly the most how to say
he's
he's not the
always
most
trying to
put together guy.
manipulate his grandson to have adventures with him. Doesn't matter how much he wants to get away from Rick, Rick always finds a way to bring him back.
No, no, no. It's not even that. It's just like how broken he is.
Hmm.
Like he's not okay, guys. Like
No,
literally, like
he's not.
that episode with Mini. What was it called? Is it Mini Rick?
Pickle Rick.
No, no, no. The other one, like, where he's like a teenager. Like he
Yeah,
like
yeah, Little
little
Rick.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
little Rick, whatever. Um, where he did a song
I'm
and
looking at it right
literally,
now. I have a poster on mine.
uh,
Yeah.
um, yeah, he's doing a song, pretty much saying like how he's in pain and stuff like that. And yeah, no. Are you still looking at the poster?
Yeah, I'm looking at the poster.
Uh,
So I have a poster of him. It's a Little Rick, Cool Rick, Rockstar Rick, Sober Rick, and then regular Rick.
hmm Um, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to derail that, but just I
Hmm.
have not seen this season yet.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll probably catch up once the season's up.
Yeah.
Not really worried about spoilers.
Hmm.
All right. Ready to dive into Disney Plus?
Yes. Let's get into Disney Plus section.
Yeah. Of the streaming
Yeah, of the streaming.
subsection of streaming.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. You added old Disney. So what exactly old Disney are you looking here? The
Okay.
Vault?
No, we're talking about like our childhood days, which
Okay.
is the Disney Channel stuff. Uh,
Okay.
you could see a whole big variety of Disney Channel original movies on this this service. So you got like Johnny Tsunami, you got
Yep.
Xenon, uh, and besides those, they have a lot of old TV shows too. I didn't check to see if they have Famous Jet Jackson. I would totally watch
They
that.
didn't.
They
They
didn't.
didn't. I checked.
Yeah.
I'm sad about that. And they also don't have the Jersey, which is
Oh
another one I was
man.
looking forward to.
Yeah. So
Um, my brother thinks that maybe they didn't add the famous Jackson because of how that ended.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's a good show.
it is.
Yeah. So besides all of those, they revamped a new show. Oh, well, actually, an old IP, and it's called Bug Juice. Do you remember Bug Juice? Have you ever seen Bug Juice?
I think I do, but I also remember that Nickelodeon had a show called Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah. So Salute Your Shorts was basically a scripted show.
Hmm.
Um, it's a sitcom basically.
Right, right.
So, Bug Juice is a reality TV show about these kids that go to a camp up in Maine.
Hmm.
And the kids are ranges anywhere from 13 to like 16-year olds.
Okay.
So every year, some of them would come back and meet again, and some will find love, some will be an asshole, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool show to watch back in the days. It's a teenager version of the real world.
Hmm.
So, fasting forward, they made a revamp version, same camp, but my wife and we're big fans.
Hmm.
So we watched the first episode. Not even like 5 minutes in, we had to shut down the channel. It is
Uh,
so bad. It
Let
is
me
so
guess.
bad.
It's way overproduced.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not that. Um, it's reality, so I mean it's not overproduced. It's the same camp. Everything looks the same. Even
Hmm.
the sign is exactly the same.
Okay.
Um, okay, so here's the problem with the show. They made it so toned down, and the kids that are in the show are too young. And I think the reason why they're trying to do is they're trying to capture the younger audience into watching this show.
Not just that, but also it gives each character, or not character, but each person on the show a longer time period that they can be on it. So if they get 10-year-olds, they can at least have the kid, if the show's successful, they can have the kid for about 7 years before they're too old for
Yeah,
camp.
but that's not how this show works. Though, like they don't sign kids on. Like these kids just happen to be there, and they're
Oh,
like, okay, do you want to be the main character? That's it. And then if they don't come
oh,
back next year, they don't come back.
trust me. I have a feeling that they're going to try to do like the whole teen mom or what's it called, 16 and pregnant kind of thing.
Yeah, but they have like older teens there, but they don't focus on those. They focus on like
Because the older teens are not going to be there. Dude, I'm telling you right now, this is their plan. Next season, they're going to be revisiting the same kids going to the same camp, or at least some of the same kids. And then they're going to like try to follow them each season. Think the Grassy but reality show.
okay.
I bet you anything, dude. That's what they're trying to do here, because they don't want
Mhm.
to risk 1 year or bringing a new set of kids, and there's the audience doesn't react to not react respond well to the new kids for one season.
Mhm. I'm watching Terrace House right now, the new season, and they have new characters all the time. They come and go,
Yeah.
and I actually enjoy that. Like it's, I don't know. There's a difference between like watching like Jersey Shore style shows, that reality shows, and watching these real reality TV shows.
No,
Not
season two,
scripted.
Anton. Season two, Anton. I'm telling
All
you
right,
right
we'll
now.
just have to see. Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Episode 190 something. We'll see.
yeah, yeah.
All right. I will admit, me and my girlfriend, out of curiosity, we did watch Xenon. Um, we got about halfway through before we decided to just stop it and go out to eat.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
yeah. It's not bad.
It's cheesy.
Mhm.
The dialogue is way more transparent than I remember.
I'll tell
Mostly
you
because I
what's bad. I'll tell you what's bad. Meet the Deedles. Have you ever seen that movie?
no.
It stars I don't even know one of the guys' name, but it has Paul Walker. Like these guys are brothers,
Yeah.
and they live in Hawaii, and they just lost their privilege of living this rich life.
Mhm.
So they get sent to like Wisconsin, to like up in the mountains somewhere,
Yeah.
and they basically flew there, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be really cold, so we gotta pack our stuff, make sure that we pack everything for the cold winter. So they arrive in Wisconsin and they're wearing wetsuits. Yeah,
Oh my.
it's a really cheesy movie, and I can't believe I was watching it for like an hour until I was like, all right, I gotta shut this off. This is really stupid.
I can't remember what I was watching. What? Because me and my girlfriend were just kind of like playing around with the Disney Plus, and I forgot what we turned on. And we literally lasted 5 minutes before we're like, no, I'm good. I told her, I'm
I,
like, I'm checked out. She goes, yeah, please turn it off. I'm like, okay. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I think that's the funny thing about Disney Plus is there's a lot of memory lane stuff, and
oh
there's a
my
lot of stuff where
God.
you're like cringing like really bad.
You know what movie we watched that me and her started getting so offended or like got called out like this is not okay.
What?
Um the gotta kick it up.
Oh,
The
okay.
cheerleaders.
Uh-huh.
Um so it was pretty much Disney Channel's attempt to redo Bring It On
Hmm.
with Hispanic characters. So I think like it's trying to they're trying to capitalize on the popularity of Bring It On, but also bring in the Hispanic viewers.
Yeah.
And
I
oh
actually
my,
enjoy that. I don't know why,
it,
but I enjoy
it was
that.
interesting. It was
Yeah.
interesting seeing like America Ferrera before she became popular. That was
Hmm.
one of her lesser known roles.
Hmm.
Um, but some of the things that were done were kind of like, how stupid are these parents? Like why would you let your kid do? I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, or oh crap, what was the other one? Oh, and then also I was looking up like behind the scene. Like I always like to like look up um like production stuff, casting. And the main girl, the star of the movie, is 26.
Hmm.
I thought this is high school. It's supposed to be junior high. So you have a 26-year-old playing what's supposed to be, say, an eighth grader.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my assumption. All I know is it's junior high. So that's what, 13 tops?
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least a 13. Literally, she's twice as old as the character should be. And their co-stars are, I think America Ferrera was 18 or 19.
Mm-hmm.
The other girls were 17 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is the main girl older than the role she's supposed to be, twice the age she's supposed to be, she's also at least 6 or 7 years older than her co-stars.
Yeah. Well,
It
some
was-
people have that baby face still.
She doesn't though.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like some people have that baby face. Some people
I mean,
don't.
she's cute, but that was bad. But yeah, revisiting some of these is a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are fun, some of them are like, oh my god, how did I like this as a kid?
Yeah. So enough of that old stuff. Let's go to the big heavy hitters. The big reason why a lot of people signed up for Disney Plus is for the big heavy hitters.
The original content.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with the biggest one that beat Stranger Things record.
Yeah.
For having,
most streams, right?
yeah, for having the most subscribers watching a show on a streaming service. The Mandalorian. Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it, mostly because you know what?
Yeah.
I'm letting the episodes come out little by little.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care about spoilers, at least not in this sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, you already seen the baby.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Exactly. I'm like, I really don't care at that point.
Yeah.
For me, it's more about the experience and the story. So I'm fine. I haven't seen it. But yeah, carry on.
Okay, so love the show. Action's great. Because of the director Deborah Chow helming the last episode, which was amazing. She's going to be helming the whole entire Obi-Wan series, which I am totally sold because of her directing style in this previous episode. So far, so good. One thing that I do have a negative on, which isn't like a whole reason why you wouldn't watch it, it's the length of each episode. I would prefer each episode to be at least 50 minutes. I like to see a little bit more content. I feel like it's too short. Like some episodes are 32 minutes, some are 35 minutes, which is the standard for like a half an hour show.
No, if it's hour. Okay, so network TV show, hour-long TV show, about 42 to 44 minutes.
Oh, that's because they have like TV show,
commercials. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is that like I think people are starting to get used to the shows that run on for almost a full hour. Because there's a lot of networks that don't do commercials and streaming services. So it's not normal for a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm too spoiled at this point with so many.
I think I don't know. I think it bugs me more when a show is inconsistent with how long their shows are. I think for example, House of Cards, that one would have some episodes that were 30 minutes, and there was I think one in the first season that lasted 90 minutes.
Oh wow.
It was pretty much a movie.
That's crazy.
So that kind of time difference, while it's good for the director, the writer, they get to tell a story that they want to tell at any constraints, it's also really inconvenient for a viewer, because I like to know, like, well, you know, I have an hour before I want to go to bed. I can knock out another episode.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that if the next episode is 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's one thing. So as long as it's consistent, I'm fine. I think people are also feeling it more because this is a weekly show,
Hmm.
not binge. Release the entire season and binge it all you want.
Hmm. And ooh, I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen. I know that they're gonna end this series, end this first season with something that ties into the movies, and I just can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of a lot of people are wondering if it's going to be similar to Agents of Shield,
mhm.
tying into the movies at the Marvel Cinematic Universe
Okay,
movies as they came
there's
out.
something I want to point out. They're on their third episode right now, and they still haven't really gave us the name of the main character,
Hmm.
and they didn't even give us a name or the species of the baby.
It's Bob Fett, Jeffrey Fett.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, then that's part of the thing that they
Hmm.
want to keep some mystery in there.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, we don't know. Yoda's one of those characters that's so popular, so familiar, but we really don't know the name of his species, the
Hmm.
name of his planet, um, or other than just his age. We know
Hmm.
he died when he was 900.
Yeah, like really old.
Yeah, he was 100 at the
Hmm.
at the prequels. I think when he died, he was 900.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, he's a mysterious character, and I think that's why a lot of people call him Baby Yoda. I will give credit, and this gives me a lot of hope that people are overlooking to how much control Jon Favreau has over this.
Yeah, and he's listening to George on everything. Like he's I mean, I've seen clips of when they're shooting, George is there, like on set, like sitting next
Yeah.
to him. So, yeah, with that being said, I have a feeling that, George is gonna be the best consultant
Hmm.
for the Star Wars universe
But
because I mean, for the last two movies, they kind of fell off the wagon of not listening to anything that he says.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, George's gonna be able to point to this and show this is more my image.
Hmm.
No, but also because I mean Disney is a massive like money making machine, not just for movies, but like toys and merchandise. That's really where they make the money, like branding stuff. And John Favreau told him, Baby Yoda's coming out. This is going to be a big thing. And Disney agreed. But John actually managed to get Disney to hold back on releasing the toys until after this show, after that episode aired.
Hmm.
Because he wanted Baby Yoda to be a surprise to audiences.
Hmm.
And that also supports the whole
Wow. Hmm.
week to week
Hmm.
release.
Yeah.
So I mean, any dude, like this is
Okay. Okay. He did such a good job, and this whole Baby Yoda thing, Julie can't shut up about it. It's all she talks about almost every
yeah.
single day. Yeah, I can't wait until I see your or hear about your reactions. Maybe I think this is a series that you should watch with Martha. I
Yeah.
don't think you guys should watch it separately. I think you guys should watch it together.
No,
It's
and
good.
that's kind of this is probably going to be the next one we watch after the movies come out. Um,
Oh, this
because
this show is so cinematic. It feels
yeah,
like an actual feature length movie. Like
yeah.
that's what it feels like,
Uh,
but in half an hour.
no, but again, and finishing off what I was saying earlier, like
Mm-hmm.
it's in a world where I think Nerdist, anytime a Marvel movie is going to come out, they look towards the freaking toy lines, Lego more specifically, to see what could be released in the Lego toy set that might hint at to what the movie might be. So in
Mm-hmm.
Avengers, they might show all of a sudden Thanos is back again. They're like, oh, okay, cool. So Thanos is back in Avengers Endgame. So stuff like that. So I mean, for John to control that kind of secret or
Mm-hmm.
keep be able to keep it secret for that long, it's amazing. So I'm excited to see what else he holds in the pipeline there.
Okay, I know we're running a little bit long, but let's breeze on by with the world according to Jeff Goldblum. Were you able to check out any episodes on this one?
I did. I saw the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a sneaker fan,
Mm-hmm.
but the first episode of this show got me so hooked and just made my jaw drop.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it made my eyes roll. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
sneaker con, that made my eyes roll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
It's
like
a
the
thing.
custom, yeah. But I mean, like the what's it called? What was the name of the guy that customized shoes? The Not the cut doctor. What's his name? I can't remember. So the guy that can create the shoes, that was amazing because I'm like, wow, it's not just like over the top shoes, but it's very personalized. He's very artistic about it. It's not just I will make you gold shoes. It's I will make you a shoe that represents you.
A cobbler.
Uh, no, no, no. I mean the cobbler, yeah, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying he had a name,
Mm.
um, or a nickname, I should say.
Yeah, I didn't watch
Stitch
the
Doctor.
episode. I skipped that. I went straight to the ice cream one
Trust me,
because
you're
that's
gonna want
what
to
I.
watch it. I think there's a part where he goes to Converse.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Converse? Adidas, or it goes to Adidas, and they go through the shoe design,
Mm-hmm.
the tracking about seeing a runner on a treadmill, how their steps impact their body, and try to adjust to it. They also show how terrible of a runner Jeff Goldblum is, and I can't believe he's straight. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you watch that scene.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and again, I'm not a sneaker fan, but that episode made me really hooked.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I think for 2019 or 2020, a nice project for me will be just buying shoes from the clearance section. Like
Mm.
I'm usually pretty conservative with my shoes,
Mm-hmm.
like choosing very simple design, but I think maybe I'm gonna start to pick some funky shoes just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the ice cream one, and
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, that was. It makes me want to eat ice cream. But other than that, it's a great show. It's kind of like watching Unwrapped on
Yeah,
Food Network combined with a little bit of Alton Brown. But Alton Brown gets really into it. Jeff
yeah.
Goldblum is kind of like a good BSer. Um,
It's funny though because he's so cheesy, but he knows he's being cheesy,
yeah,
so it's okay.
yeah, it's okay.
Like those B shots of him going, but what if? I was like, oh God.
Okay. So we also got the Imagineering Story, which talks about what happens behind the scenes, how things are created, how things came out to be, uh, you know, the the kinks of what went into manufacturing Disney.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's really boring. You could fall asleep. You have to watch this during the daytime. It's
I
not.
I I I watched the whole thing. I didn't. It wasn't boring. I mean, yeah, it's slow paced, but it's
I
interesting.
paid attention throughout the whole thing. Somebody didn't.
Sure.
So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it is slow paced, but I
Mhm,
think I'm kind of curious to see what somebody that didn't grow up in Orange County would think about it.
mhm,
Um, just seeing some of the older maps, some of the design, the impacts to the area around it, it was very interesting to me.
mhm,
To the point even where were they building the 5 or the 22? They were building a major freeway, and they talked about how Disney was so careful with his budget that instead of buying trees, they literally just went out to areas where the freeway was going to knock down the trees anyways and took the trees, or asked other people in Anaheim, Garden Grove,
mhm,
or surrounding areas to donate their tree if they had a tree on their property that they wanted to get rid of.
mhm. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm like, that's interesting. I liked it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you caught up on all of it, but there was one that was really interesting. It talked about the Imagineers, the actual Imagineers.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's episode 2. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much our first look into everything that's on Disney Plus.
Okay. Overall, how are you feeling about the weekly releases for some of these shows?
I just need to get used to it.
Okay. So far that's the biggest thing people have either hated about hated or loved about Disney Plus is the shows aren't bingeable.
Mhm.
Treat it like the way we are used to. Um, I personally like it, and it's smart of Disney because it can kind of keep the conversations going.
Okay.
All right, Anton. Ready to get into the movie section?
Yes. Last section of the day. Movies.
All right. Oh, what the hell? Sorry. There it goes. All right. Movies. So last weekend we had the release of Frozen 2. So Frozen 2 came in with 130.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Ford versus Ferrari with 15.7 million. Quite a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with 13.3 million. Number 4, 21 Bridges with 9.3 million. And number 5, Midway with 4.6 million. I think Frozen won.
Yeah, Frozen 1.
I love the memes that came out of it where it literally showed two detectives showing crime scenes, and it showed like the box office dead on the ground, and Olaf is like, "That was me! Like I killed it."
Okay, so besides that, besides all of the movies that topped the box office, I got to see. I guess it's an indie film.
We're not going to talk about any of those.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about any of those because none of those beat this movie in movie rating score.
Yeah.
So I got to see the movie Parasite. This got a 98 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got like 5 out of 5 on a lot of websites, news reviews.
Mhm.
So Parasite is a movie by Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho. He did a couple of movies. You're probably familiar with one of them. Have you ever seen that movie called Snowpiercer?
The Netflix one?
The one with Captain America.
No, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. You should watch it.
Okay.
You should watch it with Martha. It's
Okay.
very. I don't. Are you guys into like movies that have like a good meaning at the very beginning, and then at the very end it can get really twisted?
Seems oddly specific, but we're usually done pretty much anything.
Okay. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
watch it. It's good. It's really good. So a lot of the times when you watch these type of movies, where you're like, oh wow, this is really good. Okay, it's a good story so far, and then something
Mhm.
really crazy happens, and it just changes the way that you watch the movie, and you're like, wow, I'm either really grossed out right now, but I'm also liking it. Is it wrong to like it even though it's so wrong? You know, like it's that type of movie. So, Parasite is
Okay.
about this kid who graduated high school with very high grades, but
Mhm.
he didn't go to university or any college at all. He stayed home with his family, with his sister and his parents. And all they do every day is try to find a way to uh, make money and survive. So every day they would talk to people saying, stuff in the neighborhood. They live in a really poor neighborhood where they have to live under someone's house. It's kind of like an apartment, but it's a basement apartment. So they live
Okay.
under, and there's a window where they could see outside in the street. So they would do stuff like putting pizza boxes together to get money, like 5 cents each or something like that, and that's how they would get money to like go through the day. So
Hmm.
the son meets up with his old friend, and his old friend's like, "Hey, you're really good with English. I'm actually going studying abroad, so I need you to help me tutor this girl who's currently going to high school right now. And they're
Hmm.
very rich, so you can make money that way." He's like, "Okay, sure." So he goes and he's tutoring her, and it seems like the mom really likes him. So then he's like, "Oh, hey, I know that you have a son. He's really good at doing art stuff. Maybe I actually know someone that is a really good art teacher. Maybe I can introduce you." She's like, "Oh yeah, sure." It's funny. After she agrees, it's actually his sister that he brings in, and he acts like his sister is not even his sister. He's like, "Oh yeah, I met her through a friend, and she's a teacher. She's really in high demand." So then she starts teaching too. So they're both tutoring and taking money from these people. And then next thing they know, they kick out the nanny, and they
Hmm.
got their mother to go into the house to become the nanny. And the chauffeur, they got rid of the chauffeur and brought in their dad. So the whole entire family is working under this family. And they don't even
Okay.
know that these people are related to each other.
So it's a social, what's it called? A social commentary on nepotism.
So you got a family working in under another family, but they don't
Yeah.
even know these people are yeah, but it gets crazier, and there's so much weird stuff that goes down the rabbit hole. When you think that it's just one of those regular movies, it just gets worser and worser, and you feel so bad watching it. And there's moments where you're like, feel so bad for the characters, and guilty, and oh my god, you get so many mixed emotions throughout this whole entire movie. And I think that's
Uh,
why this movie got a standing ovation at the Cannes Festival.
mhm.
And I think the standing ovation was like over 20 minutes. That's how good this movie
Uh,
is.
I was partially joking, but I really think this is a social commentary on nepotism.
Yeah.
Most importantly, because the mayor of Westminster might actually get removed from office because they're being accused of hiring their family members to certain roles in the city
Uh,
and essentially getting paid to do nothing. Which I'm
wow.
like, that's kind of what the movie's saying though. Like you bring in one person and then that person brings in others.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Uh, when you ever get a chance, this is a highly recommended movie. It's different,
No,
and
I've heard good things about it,
yeah.
so I am curious about it. Dude, to be honest, there's my movie list has expanded so much this past month, but I just can't. Any weekend's going towards Star Wars right now,
Yeah.
and that's just because I want to see Ford versus Ferrari.
Hmm.
I want to see 21 Bridges. I want to see Midway.
Hmm.
Uh, Jojo Rabbit. That's like number two on my list of things I want to see.
Hmm.
And Parasite's up there because yeah, I've had friends that watched it and they loved it.
Oh, you
And
had
usually
friends that actually went to go see that?
yeah, my friend Juliet, she went with her boyfriend on 2 weeks ago to go
Uh
see
huh.
Parasite.
Hmm.
Um, and she usually hates these type of movies, but she liked this one.
Hmm.
So that's
Cool.
what made me curious. She's usually
Hmm.
pretty picky about like artsy movies
Hmm.
or suspense or horror movies, and this one she got into.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the future holds for this director. I mean, he's most movies he has Tilda Swinton
Hmm.
in most of his movies. Well, most of the ones they speak English, but this one's no English. It's all subtitle. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Martha would like
All
it.
right.
It's a Korean movie.
Yeah.
And she's into like crime and mystery, and this
Yeah.
has a lot
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She just paid $7 for that follow-up series on is a documentary. I think the documentary on YouTube for that guy from the Serial podcast. What's his
Oh.
name?
Um, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his
Yeah.
name. Mhm.
Yeah. But his documentary is on YouTube, and she bought it for $7. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, nice to know.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Anton. If people don't want to be parasites themselves, and how can they support us?
They can support us by going to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy some stickers or t-shirts or hats. And if there was something that we talked about on the show or was on any of our social media, any of the links takes them to Amazon and gives us a little kickback. So that's great.
Yeah. You can also follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to give us a 5-star, thumbs up, whatever the rating system is on your favorite podcatcher app. Preferably go on iTunes, give us 5 stars. That's a good way to support us because we can, it raises our visibility to potential new listeners.
So today's podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There's over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I'm just listening to dad stuff right now. Nothing specific. There's just so many like little things here and there. So that's what I'm listening to now.
I will say there's some Audible exclusives or Audible originals, I should say, that are coming out, and I'm trying to think of that are really tempting me to rejoin. I need to look them up. I really could have been more prepared than this. But yeah, but something about Audible's now originals, they're really cranking them out, and damn it, they're tempting.
That's true.
All right, Anton. Anything else? Did I forget anything?
I think that's it.
All right, good to be back for the 2OC. I'm Alan Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan.
All right, guys, have a good one.